Hey.
Welcome to Adelaide Tonight Live with your hosts Scott John and Big Al.
How are you, mate? How's the week been?
It's been a tremendous week. It's been great. We're coming up to Easter time, and we've got gather round happening. The election just passed. So many things happening. Fringe finished. It's
you were involved in the election. Am I allowed to say that, or is that under wraps? You were doing a bit of work with the election.
Yeah,
is that
did a little bit. Yeah, there was. It was the first time the state election actually had phone voting, so it was great to be part of that, which was awesome, just for sight impaired and motor impaired people. And yeah, it was just great for people to be part of that. And being able to actually vote over the phone.
I had to line up for an hour and a half.
Yeah. But by you squinting, you might have been okay to go. It's like
I'm always squinting. That's why I've got squinty eyes. So I'm never not squinting. I've got to get them sorted out. I keep thinking as I get older, they get squintier and squintier.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, it's just like I have to my cheeks get any bigger, they're going to do the same thing. It's like,
right.
People just think I've got Botox. It's like no, just fat.
No,
free Botox. Free Botox.
You're a beautiful man, and don't let anyone tell you any different ever.
Yeah.
I've got a beer here. I go to the beer in the second half of the show, so I don't get drunk. I'm on a coffee in the first half.
Oh, lovely, fantastic! I do love that mug. It's a great mug. I'm on an overpoured Scotch by the looks of things, but
lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we get into it? We've got our first guest lined up already. Don't spit. Were you going to do a spit take?
Almost.
You always spat all over the screen.
Can you imagine that? Jeez. I won't do it because I'll have to clean it up. So,
save that to see if he says anything offensive. Let's get our first guest on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage David M. Green. Hello, David. And David's got his mic on mute.
All right, how's that?
It's all right. It's a tradition here on the show. No, it's a tradition. Everybody has to have their mic on mute when they start.
I think Scotty's doing it, Dave, I reckon.
Where are you? You've got all these TV screens in the background. You're at NASA.
I'm at this is SEN, one of the studios at SEN Melbourne, where I worked earlier today as a panel operator. And I just stayed here instead of going home.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a cool place to be. Do they have free food?
Well, you do a lot of panel operating. You obviously used to do some stuff here in Adelaide for bits and pieces, and so do you have to listen to the whole show? Like, if you're doing whole panel operating for the footy or anything, you really have to be listening to the whole lot. You can't just kind of vague off, can you?
Pretty much, unless you wander to the kitchen and get a cup of tea or something. Generally you do have to listen to what you're putting to air. I'm kind of like the gatekeeper. So if it goes off air, I need to push the right button to make it go back on air, or call someone and get them to do it. And then cutting the highlights package together of all the good goals, and then playing those out of the athletes. Yeah. It's not done by AI yet.
No.
Eventually.
Have you got any horror stories? Anything that's gone wrong while you've been doing this?
My first, I used to work for another radio station years ago called Melbourne Talk Radio. It was a short-lived talk station in Melbourne, and I started as a casual, and then I filled in for the panel operator on the Steve Vizard morning show.
Oh wow!
One of their flagship shows. After breakfast, that would be the flagship show. And day one, I think possibly like it was a 3-hour show. It was in the first hour. There was some technical problems happening in another part of the radio station, and suddenly all the lights on the panel just go out, and all the sound stops going through the speakers. And I'm so inexperienced, I don't know what's going on. And there's like, these big names. I think Steve Vizard was with Michael Veitch in the studio.
Yes.
Oh wow!
From Fast Forward.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on, and people are running in and out, and yeah. It was
they're doing the aeroplane sketch, and
they were talking about that. Yeah, they were doing the voices. Probably a little problematic these days, I think.
Yeah, they couldn't revert. They couldn't palm off to Jennifer Kite in the newsroom. It would have been terrible.
Yeah, it was awful, and it was a good thing. If I had not come back the next day, I don't think I would have been able to do it again. It's like when you fall off a horse, you got to get back on straight away.
Yeah. I worked in a radio station in Port Pirie for a while, and part of my job was paneling the John Laws show. So I did breakfast, and then John Laws was on afterwards. So I had to stay in the studio and panel John Laws for.
Panel the network feed.
Yeah,
it was a wonderful thing you've done.
That's a gig. Love those.
Yeah, play ads and stuff when he stopped talking, and and then they told me I had to interview him because he had a new book out on the breakfast show. So he came on and started quizzing me on the book, and I hadn't read the book. And he said, he just asked me outright, have you read my book? And I just said, no, I haven't. And he hung up on me. He just said, well, this is a waste of my time, and hung up. And
I can't believe you've not read the book, Scott. This is unbelievable.
And I haven't read it. Tell me about it, please.
But I was quite devastated. And then every day I had to live through 2 hours of listening to his voice, just making my pain worse. But, yeah.
Just read the book.
Now he's dead.
God bless him. God bless him. Yeah.
That's right.
One of the greats.
Yeah, we only do impersonations of dead people, it turns out. So it's we'll chalk that up again. It's
were you doing John Laws?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just like, I know you sounded more like your dad, but that was as deep as I could go, Scott. It's,
that's the secret. You get really, really close to the mic.
You have to get really close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what you do.
Very good. Very good. And David, you've got a new podcast out, which has started recently, although the first episode was recorded a few years ago, right? On the Talking.
Yes.
Can you tell us about On the Talking?
On the Talking. It's very similar, actually. I'm doing an impression pretty much of Peter Gers. So it's a parody.
I wondered who it was. Yeah.
Well, it started as Peter Gers, but it's sort of some other talkback radio people as well, kind of an amalgam of various things that I hear on real radio, and then I go, I'm going to steal that. It's making fun of Australian talkback radio. So there's me and my friend Adam Navarro and a couple other friends, Tim Ray, Nicholas Godfrey, Jared Kotlowy, and they're all in Adelaide, and I record it with them when I come back to Adelaide.
Right.
We've been working on it for years, because we can only work on it in little bits and pieces when I come and work on it. So we started 2021, sort of when we bought the podcast desk. We only first released the first episode in September. So we're doing one a month, and we're only going to make 10. And we just released the first week. We released 7 just this weekend.
Why 10?
Does Bob Francis make an appearance? I know he's also passed away as well, but you never know.
Yeah, all the greats
of Bob Francis. Yeah, he could call in. That's
that'd be great.
I met him. I met him twice. The first time I met him was when I was 1, and my parents took me to the art gallery, the South Australian Art Gallery, and my mum was sort of holding me, and Bob Francis was there with his girlfriend. And apparently, I pulled his girlfriend's hair. I have no memory of this. But yeah,
get off my girlfriend, you bloody wanko! It's
and then. And then I did the David Day Australian Radio School.
Oh yeah.
Back in 2006.
Yeah, you didn't pull his girlfriend's hair again, did you?
No, I thought about. I wonder if you remember this. I didn't get a chance. We all went on like an excursion to Nova and 5AA, and he was on air then because he was doing his nighttime show. So we all went into the studio and had a chat to him in like an ad break, or like just before he started. And we were kind of in a big group, so I didn't get one-on-one time. But yeah,
I did work experience at 5AA many years ago when I was at school, and I learnt that show was on a 7-second delay, and he was an expert at when, callers used to prank call him. He knew to the second that he had 7 seconds to dump them, and the obscenity that he would fit into that 7 seconds was amazing. He would just fire off this 7 seconds of obscenity and then hit the dump button, and nobody heard except the work experience kids and the other callers that were on the line waiting. They heard it.
That's fantastic.
But it was amazing. Oh yeah.
It's fun. It's fun messing with the delay function. You can also use it to fix mistakes.
Right.
So if it saved me lots of times. Like when the host is thrown to something and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't have it ready or whatever. And you wait a second and you're looking for it. And you're like, wait a second. Well, just hang on. I got 10 because most stations work on 10-second delay.
Oh yeah, right.
10 seconds. Just pause, turn the mics off, press the monitor button. So now you're listening to what's went to air 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And you can exit delay and you can just wait to hear the throw to the audio again. And then when they throw to it, press play on whatever it was.
That's fantastic.
No one knows.
That's great.
And then you just go back into delay and it takes a couple of minutes to build up that 10 seconds again.
I wonder if we can get a 10-second delay on YouTube. I really needed that a few times.
Yeah, would be handy. Would be handy. I've got just a little snippet from On the Talking, and anyone who wants to check out On the Talking, it's on all of the podcast places, isn't it? Apple and Spotify and all of those places.
Yeah. Well, those are the only two main ones, right? I mean,
I think so.
Who's using anything else?
I was using Pocket Casts. That's all right.
What the hell's Pocket Cast?
Yeah, that's a local Adelaide Adelaide guys. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought it was like a fishing rod you fitted into your pocket, and
no. And this has been stuck in my head for weeks. This is from one of the episodes. This is an ad for something called Garden Man. Let's have a look.
Garden Man, lawn and hedge trim. Garden Man, sprinkler system. Garden Man, put your trust in Garden Man.
G'day, I'm David Boney, the original Garden Man from Garden Man. If you're not much of a green thumb or just can't be asked, get on the blower to Garden Man, and we'll get the blower onto your garden. Man. Leaf blower, that is.
Garden Man, horticulture. Garden Man, brand new mulcher. Garden Man, good reviews of Garden Man.
Call Garden Man today on 1-800-626-427-336. That's 1-800-MAN-GARDEN. We couldn't get it the other way around.
I love it. Sounds vaguely like a David Bowie song. That's just a passing resemblance.
Whenever I hear that in the car, I can only hear Garden Man, so I'm like, well, I can turn that into an ad.
You've ruined it. It's a great song, and I love it, Modern Love, and you have destroyed it, but that's all right because
for good. It's not for evil, Scott. It's for good.
It's for good.
It's Gardening Man. Yeah, it's a great jingle.
It's a great jingle.
That's Jared Kotlowy singing those vocals. I initially tried to sing them, but I cannot sing, so it sounded really bad. But then he came along and he's in tune and everything. But I did the other voice there. So there's fake ads as well on the podcast as well.
It's great.
Fake callers. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to check it out if you haven't yet. Big Al, it's wonderful, and you're up to episode 7 now, aren't you?
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
this weekend just released 7, and there's a whole
7.
segment with a malfunctioning delay
Yeah.
machine. So the
Yeah.
call is going to delay, and you can hear 10 seconds behind through the well.
Oh,
It's
excellent.
it's funny when that really happens when you're when
Yeah.
you're listening to talkback radio and someone is on the phone and they're listening. They're not listening to the audio through the phone. They're listening to the audio that's coming through
Oh,
their radio
yes.
speaker.
Yeah.
And the host will say, like, are you there? Are you there, Scott? And then it's just silence. And you're like, are you there, Scott? Still silence. And then you hear through the radio speaker them saying, "Are you there, Scott?" the first time, and then they'll respond to that, and then you're gonna say, "Just turn your radio down." It's like,
Yeah.
it's almost like they're like one question behind.
Oh, yes, like that Two Ronnies sketch.
Yeah, the mastermind sketch.
Yes.
So he was a question in front, wasn't he?
Oh, right. Yes, it may have been. It may have been. And I remember the Goodies did something similar. Anyway, getting a little bit comedy nerdy now. Yeah, and the other thing that you're well known for is VHS Review, which is up to, 60 episodes?
Yep. There's 60 of those on YouTube. So I review videotapes. People have recorded stuff off TV, and it's mostly me making fun of the old ads. Occasionally the program or the movie, but it's mostly the ads that are where the gold is.
Yeah.
And I just started writing the new season of that as well, so that's probably be like towards the end of the year.
Oh, that's good news. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
I do miss it. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Because I've got a few VHSs where I've painstakingly, back in the day, you were in charge of pausing the ads, just so when Dad come home from work, he didn't have to watch the ads. He can just watch the whole lot of A Current Affair without the ads. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that as well, and it's kind of a shame now because those tapes are like, well, like, so what? I got all these South Park episodes on tape. You can get those. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Can't get the ads there.
That's right.
Someone else uploaded them to YouTube, but the like fun thing is that occasionally I find something that's like no one's seen for 40 years, and it's not online, and it's like, wow, this could be the only copy.
Yeah.
And it's usually something really weird, like
the
owner of a business in their own ad.
Yes.
With no ability, and they're talking about aisles or something.
Yeah, there's not enough of that anymore. Just those, dodgy.
Especially after 12 o'clock. It used to get weird. That's where you'd get like those cheap ads and weird, like, not just the sexual ads, but there was some weird, like, people doing their own stuff. Like, you'd have like,
with dodgy accents and
like 0055 numbers, and then they were like, g'day, like, we got Gardening Man. Like, it was just weird, like, back then. Like, it was very strange.
That's great. If I find a tape and it's got a movie or something on it, and then they just let the tape run out, so it's got like an extra 40 minutes or something at the end, really late at night. That's like, I'm like, there's gonna be some good stuff here.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. You've got the end of the film with Pete Smith speaking about, good night, gentlemen, and then the rest of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And you've written for Sean McAuliffe as well a fair bit. Is that right? You were working on Mad as Hell?
Yeah, I did that for 8 years. So that was great. That was the dream job. That's why I moved to Melbourne.
Right.
Well, that was literally the dream. I would love to work on an ABC sketch show with Sean McAuliffe, and very lucky it
happened.
Yeah. So I don't know quite. It's all downhill from here now. Really, anything else? It's never going to be a show that good again. I think on Australian TV.
No, it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it a lot. Any chance of it coming back, or like a, Christmas special or something? I don't know. They don't really do those in Australia, but
He did do a Christmas special one year.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I didn't work on that though. It was like in between two seasons. But I think he actually did want it to continue with a couple of the other cast members kind of hosting it. But the ABC was only interested in it if he was going to be the host, even though he would have continued to write behind the scenes and produce it. But they only wanted it if he was the host of it.
Right.
So, but now a lot of the people who worked on the show have left the industry because there aren't any other jobs. So people who, like a couple of the other writers have gone and they do work in advertising. A couple of the actors have kind of like retired, and a lot of the back end, like makeup and costume, a lot of them were kind of been around a long time anyway, so they kind of just took the opportunity to retire.
And that's what happens. You see a TV show and you don't realize there's the flow-on effect. There's writers and makeup artists and all that kind of thing. I think we just normally see, what's in front of us, and you don't realize what's behind it because people don't watch the credits. I think I'm the only one who watch credits of movies and stuff still.
Okay, I think they're a dying thing, aren't they? Credits, they're not really as common. Even opening credits are kind of shrinking down. It's not, everybody just wants to get in and get out. Or maybe the cast of Mad as Hell could do a YouTube show.
That'd be great.
They could make, $5 an episode easy if someone donates to their Buy Me a Coffee fund. That might be an idea for you all.
It would the production standard would be a big step down. Like you're used to seeing them in a nicely lit studio with like those wigs and stuff. Like that's really expensive to get all that stuff looking like that.
Yeah,
and it would be like
this,
people shooting themselves with crappy reject shot wig. It would be very sad. I think. I don't think anyone actually wants to see this.
Yeah. Oh well. I would. I'd watch it. So
yeah, totally. I'm wearing a bald wig as we speak.
That reminds me. Before you had a shiny head, here's a video that. I don't know why that reminded me, but David sent us a video of you back in the day introducing him on stage. And this is wonderful. Have a look at this.
Wait, are you guys ready for your next act? Yes. I've never seen this gentleman before. I'm sure he's absolutely hilarious. So please, lovely round of applause for David W. Green. Hello, my name's David M. Green.
Fantastic. I love it.
Do you remember that?
I do. And it was just like, and I'm sorry, I think that was obviously before I lost my hair and also my voice broke by the sounds of things. It's, I know. It was just like, one of those
18 years ago. I mean,
that is crazy.
Yeah. We're finding since we've started doing this, there's just all these videos of people with Big Al terribly introducing them. He's just putting together this library of poor introductions. It's fantastic.
I'm sure there's many more out there.
That was only the third time I'd ever done stand up.
Oh wow!
Was it?
And it was at the old Rhino Room, and you were reading you can't really see it on the video, but you were reading the names of the comedians on a list that was on the floor, and you read out David W. Green. I'm walking up there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spin the list upside down and then say I'm David M. Green. And that was the biggest laugh I got for the whole routine. And you could just see the look on my face going, that was downhill from here.
It was great. It was I remember one time I was hosting and when they're like, oh, do we go through the names? Is that all good? And I did this massive ladies and gentlemen, he is fantastic. You were seeing him around. Give it up for Billy. And Billy was a girl. And that was
yeah, you can't presume.
Hard to go back from that. You just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to say you'll love them.
You love them.
It's vague like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Rookie move. Move.
They are great.
Well, please come back. We would love to have you back on. And anything if you've got something interesting that you want to share or any tales of Adelaide's past, anything like that, just let us know. You can see it's very easy to come on here. You just click the link, and we don't mind if people are in their pajamas or what state they're in, So please do come again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks, David W. Green. It's been a pleasure.
All right, we'll let you get back to raiding the work fridge then.
Yeah, I'll do that and then I'll go home, I think.
All right. Yeah. No worries. Thanks very much. Good luck with On the Talking. See ya.
Thank you. See ya.
David M. Green. Lovely to have him aboard.
I just rated the Adelaide Tonight fridge, and it's quite delicious.
And what's in there this evening?
It's a little bit of American honey.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. I should probably get Kangaroo Island honey, but this one's alcoholic.
We haven't got any sponsors yet, have we? So
no, we'll just make stuff up. I reckon David's going to be a great idea. We'll just make sponsors up. That'll be fantastic. We just create their own ads, and people will just like, yeah, that sounds. Where can we get those services? That'd be fantastic.
Well, before we bring on our next guest,
yes,
last week we forgot to go back to pundits.
Oh, yes, of course.
And we had loads more of those on last week's news story, which is still relevant. It's still the headline of the week. Which is, have you got the theme song? Do you want to do your pundits theme?
Oh, I do, mate. Would you like to?
Welcome to Pundits. It's where we take a news story and make a few puns at the news story's expense. It's very punny. Here we go.
Here's the headline. Petrol theft soars 37% as prices rise. We're just doing pun headlines and jokes on the petrol prices, basically. So do you want to go first there? We asked for people to send them in. We've had a few. So what do you got?
Yeah, for sure. I've got my car now has a new feature called Park Permanently.
I asked for a tank of premium. They referred me to a mortgage broker. Do I get a? I think it was needed. Silence wasn't sufficient.
Yeah, there we go. First time I've bought petrol on Afterpay. To be honest.
I put $20 of petrol in, and my GPS laughed at me for 5 minutes.
Petrol is so expensive, Uber drivers have started pushing the car. I have to say that's a little bit too close to home coming from the northern suburbs. I've had to do that numerous times for my dad. So even worse when he's picking me up from school just to get a push start. It's
petrol is so expensive, my local council has built a skate ramp to the shops.
I took my car in for alterations. I said, put a hole in the floor. I'm going full Fred Flintstone style.
And here's a couple that we've had sent in. Lucky Luke said, to save money, I tried filling my car with Johnny Walker Blue Label. Thank you, Lucky Luke. Have you got any more?
Yeah, I've got a couple more. My car and I are in a long distance relationship.
Mr. Roboto said, I used to have a car, now I have a very expensive driveway ornament.
Yeah, my dad said that he's not driving anymore, but he's riding the town bike.
The other day I prepaid, then put a litre too much in. Now I'm up for Grand Theft Auto. We might as well finish these off.
Yeah, you might as well.
You?
I put...
We're finding this amusing if nobody else is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's just I've got more chances in the pokies with my $10 than in the fuel tank.
Now when I carpool, it looks like $10 carload night at Mainline Drive-In. And we had a couple come in where I'm not sure they quite get what pundits is.
No, that's
right. Because Mia said, going to 38% after I finish work. Bah ha ha. Keezer said, the servos don't mind ripping off the customer, but doubt you can rip off the servo.
Well, you can. Well, they don't because you get caught for driving off with fuel inside.
Yes.
But,
and shot, probably. Yeah, that's not a good idea. And Steve wrote a long diatribe about how the government, it's all a ploy to keep us at home, as COVID was. I could read it, but it was very long.
Oh, right. Okay. I've got one that may not be appropriate, but is it okay? Petrol sniffers have turned to cocaine.
Right. All right. So there you go. There you go. That was pundits.
There we go. Cheers. Look at ourselves a round of applause.
Thank you for everyone who wrote in. If you'd like to send us an email, the email address, I'm trying to work out how to find the email address.
It's Adelaide.
Adelaide
Tonight at gmail.com, I believe.
There it is.
Adelaide. There we go. Adelaide Tonight at gmail.com. Send us through. If you've got a pundit's idea, please let us know. And we can make your dreams come true by showcasing it on the show.
Yeah. And you really need to get better dreams, to be honest. Yeah. All right. What's up next?
Well, we have a wonderful guest. This gentleman I've known for quite a few years, back to when he was in his 20s. He has been doing great guns across the Adelaide comedy scene, including being part of the Cold-Blooded comedy group, which have been just smashing it all across Adelaide, just doing all the regional areas, as well as the central parts of Adelaide. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one and the only Mr. Justin Sorre.
G'day, guys. How are we? Good to be here.
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Not a problem. Happy to be here. Those puns were unbelievable, weren't they? Jeez.
Yeah. Got anything you want to throw in?
Oh, no. I think that they were already just unbelievable. I'm not going to try and top that. Absolute top of the barrel. Unbelievable quality that was.
Yeah, Justin's sitting there just going, wow, my career's peaked coming on this show.
Oh, love it. Love it.
So how was your Fringe Festival?
Good, pretty quiet this year. I actually just did a one-nighter. Did a full hour, just a one-nighter.
Did your wife do
it? No, that was a whole other Fringe event. But no, I just did an hour at the Millages Distillery, which I'll happily shout that venue out because they are
lovely.
Amazing. They've been supporting. I think you did one there with me. The one in Port Adelaide.
There's one down in Port Adelaide, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And they're amazing. They take such good care.
Cocktails are amazing.
Yes.
Get yourself a dirty martini. Oh, so good. So
The
good.
gin is, they do their own gin, they do their own tequila, they do their own vodka. And yeah, they do like a open mic music night on a Wednesday. They've had us there running a show called Gin and Comics for a couple of years now. And yeah, they really love supporting the arts. So they asked me to if I wanted to do a show there this year, and I'm trying to build a house at the moment. So I thought I'm just going to do a one-off, and it was amazing. Probably one of the best shows I've ever done. So had a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. And how do you find doing comedy in 2026? Do you enjoy it? Do you find it challenging?
Look, it's always challenging, right? I mean, we're in Adelaide, so I think there's probably the biggest challenge of the lot is that we're in a place where it's not like we can get up every night. You've really got to. I think the trying to develop yourself as a comedian is much tougher than the era that we're doing comedy in, if that makes sense. Like, so I think that's probably the biggest challenge is just trying to get yourself the stage time that allows you to actually develop the craft. I think the challenges of doing it in 2026, they're always going to come and go, right? Like there's going to be different things happening in the world, and the zeitgeist is going to try and shift what comedy should or shouldn't be. And good comedians are always going to rise above that, right? So I try not to pay too much attention to the politicized pressures of comedy and just focus on trying to have fun, still have fun while you're up there. I think that's the most important part, right? As you guys would know.
Oh, totally. And that's the whole point of it is have a bit of fun, because the more fun you have, the more that the people have fun. And, you know, and I think as comics, we forget to have fun, I think, sometimes, and enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
I have way too much fun sometimes.
So,
yeah. Scott, I did Justin's 21st, and obviously I got quite a bit drunk to the fact.
Obviously.
I did my Fringe show, I think the year after, and some of your shows went, "Oh, he is funny." Like,
yeah.
Oh no.
The tequila shots came out far too early in the evening.
Way too early.
For him. It was always like that was always a horrible idea. Thinking of
I'm
getting
a beer
you
guy.
to do...
I'm not a spirits guy back then. It was just
I was meaning getting you to do stand up at a 21st. I think that, or at my mind you, it was a bogan themed 21st, which none of my friends had to actually dress up for because that was their wardrobe already.
Yeah. That's very fitting performance then.
And Big Al was pretty incoherent by the time we got him.
Right.
A microphone.
He had a West
in his
End
hand,
cake, which was fantastic. I remember the West End cake was like one of the best cakes I've seen for a birthday. It was so good, so good.
Yeah, fantastic.
I wish I still had a photo of that. That would have been perfect to impose right here in the middle. That West End
I think
cake.
I do have a photo still of it. I'll have to send it through to you. But,
okay, that would be awesome.
I've looked the screen a few times every time I look at it.
And Justin, you work in the mental health and suicide prevention space as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's a charity here in South Australia called The Next Step Australia. I forgot about the name of the charity there for a second, but one of the co-directors of that charity. So essentially they started as just it was like an Instagram page in the height of COVID, where they created the page to keep in contact with each other when we were going through lockdowns. There was a lot of lads from down there that were a part of the footy club, part of the boxing gyms. And one of the now co-founders of that was like, mate, I'm just really worried about what's happening at the moment. I want to make sure we can all stay in contact. And so created an Instagram page, and it just blew up over that period of time where there were lots of people that were struggling, that were reaching out and talking on the page. And then they started running a few like events and stuff to sort of get all the blokes together. And then people were trying to give them money and stuff. And they were like, it's not really something that we can handle. We're not a charity. Which then just kind of sparked the idea, what if we were? How could we use that to I guess, continue the work that this started to do and give more back? So they went and got not-for-profit status. And just before they'd gone and done that, I was actually doing a podcast at the time myself and was focusing around mental health on that podcast. And I got introduced to the two guys that are the co-founders of the Next Step Australia. And just absolutely fell in love with what they were doing. And they were obviously from the South. So they were like, we really need someone to come on board and try and help us with our event management and running things down here in the North. So I run a men's group down here in the northern suburbs now once a month. And we train a program called Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. And it's just a bit of a passion, project for me, just something I'm really keen to see, I guess, improve, of course, in the world, but just more awareness around and, something I'm putting my time to.
Yeah, because people are finding it tough at the moment. There's a lot of negative news coming down on us all of the time, and the challenges of technology changing all of the time. So it feels like everybody is feeling the pressure of, the outside world, and part of it is trying to sort of block that out. But is there any advice you can pass on to people who might be watching and struggling a little bit?
I think, and it's probably sounds cliche because people say it all the time, but it's just about communication, right? Like, I think that's the thing that you learn through doing the training, through meeting so many people that have unfortunately been impacted by suicide or suicide behavior. The key ingredient to people who are able to get themselves out of those situations are those who find the strength to be able to discuss what it is. So if you think about the state of the world right now, we're paying, we just had the great puns on the petrol situation, but this kind of pressure that it's putting on people and families, you need to be able to discuss that. You need to have people in your circle and in your life that you can speak to, or know where to go to be able to find someone who you can speak to help, because it's only through that, mental health challenges are so isolating. You think that your experience, no one could possibly understand it, and that you're a burden to those who you might want to talk to about it. But the reality is that you're not, and that whilst your experience is unique to you, a lot of people are going through something similar. There's always intersecting lines, and that you're definitely not a burden. We all want to help each other, and it's only through speaking up and communicating that we can actually do that.
And as fellas, we do struggle to reach out and express feelings and that sort of stuff as well. So it's great that you actually have an avenue for people to actually come through on a safe environment to be able to express those kind of feelings. And hats off to you, mate, for being able to provide that to, especially people in the north. It's tough. Like we're talking a lot of blue collar workers and look, white collar workers as well, just doing it tough. Trying to just make ends meet, literally, and then they've got kids and family, and sometimes they're too tired to either talk about it or they don't want to because of their pride stepped in the way. So that's great.
And I think it's as well. It's the other blokes that I run the charity with. They're tradies by day type people. I'm not a tradie, but again, fairly sort of big.
But you look like one, mate. That's
type.
The most thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got the shaved head. But yeah, trying to, I guess, reduce that stigma as well around that, what feels like the societal norms in that regard, and sort of break that down. And, when you have me and Richie, the guy I train with quite often, come in there, and you don't look like the kind of guys that are going to be running 2 days on suicide intervention skills training. And so that kind of breaks down walls already, particularly when we train a lot of blokes that are also in the industry. We got to go to Roxby last year and train a lot of the people that work out at BHP, and you just see the difference that it makes when you can give these guys real life skills in an area and in an industry that is really affected by this kind of stuff as well. So just love being able to do it.
And especially in leadership as well, mate. Anyone in that, you become accidental counsellors as well. So being able to have the tools to just provoke a conversation, or even just know what to say after someone says I'm not okay. It's because a lot of people go, right, we come along and go, hey, look, are you okay? And then they went, no, I'm not. And you're like,
what do I do now?
Like, yeah, it's so to get the tools to go, right, okay, yeah, we can. I can't help you, but I can just listen and send you through to the people that can. Sometimes just having a bit of an ear is all it takes sometimes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One thing I hear a lot is that people can't afford to see a psychologist, or even to, like, going to a GP can be expensive now, repeatedly. So a lot of people hang on to those feelings because they think it's going to cost them money once they get on the gravy train of starting to voice them, and then they've got regular follow up and medication. And so are there a lot of inexpensive or free services that people aren't aware of? How do they balance that, fear of the cost of getting treatment against, the weight of those negative feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few. There's now like the mental health, like a triage center. I'm blanking on the actual. There's a name for it. But there's a place now that's dedicated to mental health care in Adelaide that you can go to at any time. There's also a number of organisations that are free for anywhere between like 16 and 25-year-olds, which is a huge problem area for mental health, and then organisations like us, and there are more than just us out here in South Australia. That's one of the big things that we fundraise for, right? Is that, if people come to us and they go, hey, I'm at a point where I need to go and see someone, but I'm worried about the cost. We'll actually foot sometimes their first 6 appointments so that they can, get the ball rolling. And because sometimes it's that as well, right? Like sometimes you've got to show them that this is something that's really worthwhile, and that we can obviously get their foot in the door and help them, and then they can go, okay, this is something I really need to prioritize now because it's made such a difference. But it's already such a massive dive to take to go and get help, and so if we can help in that way financially, we'll do that as well. I think it's just about, again, how do you get people to understand the importance of it, and the difference that it may make, and going and seeing a doctor. But interestingly, in my experience with it, the most important thing, or the thing that helps so many people, is just looking at their routine, looking at what they're consuming, what they're doing, how they're sleeping. So much of what we endure and what we're going through outside of financial stuff that's out of our control is the stuff that's in our control, right? Like, are we scrolling for 2.5 hours before we go to bed while we eat ice cream and then get 5 hours of sleep and try and roll into work the next day? Are we having
watching me last night? Is that what
Are we having 12 beers after work every night and then wondering why we're feeling?
Come on, mate. This is. No, you're totally right. Like it's.
Are we slowly boiling over a 12-year period?
I've got 3 yeses, I think, in a row there. Do I win?
I need one more to turn around and it'll be fantastic at the voice.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough. And, I think a lot of people are in the same boat these days. And, the news is relentless. It's just unhealthy now, I think, to regularly read the news, which is a bad thing. But so you want to be informed. Everybody wants to be informed, but yeah, it's a tough world.
Just don't do it while I do it with the Big Mac. So
well, you do what you got to do, right?
Double unhealthy.
What you got to do, and that's where to bring it back. That's where comedy is important, right? And
totally.
So it's good to see that you're doing good in 2 different ways. How do you find those two? I think we spoke to Mark Ryan about this, but do you find that there's a link between the 2 sides of what you do there, helping people or helping men in those circumstances, and then doing comedy? Is there a link there?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because obviously I've done a lot of work with Mark. He's come and spoke at some of the mental health events that I've ran before over the years, and I've generally kept them very separate. I kind of I enjoy them for different reasons, and I always feared sort of blurring the lines would maybe make me not as good at either. I think was the fear I had, like trying to. I know what I do well at comedy, and I know what I do well in the mental health space, and I try to keep them separate. But I actually did an event for a landscaping company who I knew the guy who was one of the high ups in the company. We went to school together. He wanted me to come out and do a talk to all of the staff. They had like 150 people there at the Cooper's Ale House, and he goes, "But after you finish the mental health talk, I want you to do comedy." And I was like very against it, and I was like, super nervous about the idea of talking about suicide for 45 minutes and then getting up there and, talking about my downstairs. So I was very apprehensive. Yeah, right. I was super apprehensive and
a tough gig.
But they'd offered to donate quite a sizable amount to the charity, and it was too good to pass up for the good that it was going to allow us to do. And I was like, I'm just going to have to, suck it up. And but not only, and you guys would know, right? So not only have I just talked about suicide for 45 minutes, it was daylight outside.
Right.
The microphone stopped working halfway through our talk. So now I've got to go back up after a short intermission to a cappella comedy in the middle of the day after I've just talked about suicide. So it was as far as things that are conducive to good comedy, like everything was working against me.
Yeah.
And yet it was amazing. I had such a good gig, and I mean, it might have just been lightning in a bottle because that company was awesome. But you can imagine what was happening to me in that 15-minute intermission before I had to get back up there and do comedy.
Everybody was probably waiting to release some of that tension, I guess. So,
and that's what I found, right? Like everyone was, it's obviously quite somber having that conversation. And I found that once I got back up there and I said, look, and I addressed all that stuff I just told you guys. I said, look, this is not, I said, so if this is going to work, it's going to be, we're going to have to bring the energy, and they just did. So, awesome. There's definitely a link in just that. There's the importance thing is like it's the yin and yang for me, right? The comedy is the thing that allows you to escape what's going on, and that's such an important part, like a positive escape, right? Not something that is detrimental to yourself in the escapes that we generally tend to lean towards. This is an escape that allows you to just go, you know what, I'm putting this stuff that's going on up here on pause momentarily, and I'm having a laugh, and I'm releasing all the endorphins that gets to do. And then the actual mental health stuff is where we go, hey, let's actually now get under the hood of what's got you feeling that way, and let's address it. So I try to look at it as approaching it from both of those angles.
That's great work, mate. Because especially doing tradie gigs, you go. I did one for a whole bunch of steel workers, and my intro was, right, now we've just closed the bar, so I can introduce this guy. Oh, man.
Public enemy number one.
Mate.
Did you cop a few
Did you have a beer? Like, did you walk
I
up
did
with
Bogan quiz too. Like,
I was going to say, did you do Bogan quiz?
Yeah, it's right for him. It's like, yes.
Oh, that's brutal.
It was like, start the car. It's
well, thank you so much for joining us, Justin. This has been a really good chat. I've enjoyed it. I think this doing this is quite therapeutic for Big Al and I. It's a good thing to do, and it's great to talk to people like yourself.
Thank you. As a former podcast host as well, I found it very therapeutic. It is great. Gives you an excuse to catch up with a mate. Like, you guys have been doing comedy together for how long, and how often did you guys speak? Did you speak this often before? I'm sure you caught up, but did you speak this often?
No, we didn't.
And that's one of the beautiful things about it, right? It just forces you guys to get together.
This poster, 2004. 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our first Fringe show together, 2004.
Haven't aged a day.
I know.
Yeah,
and this one,
not at all.
I'm there.
That's Bert Newton.
That's Scotty before his wig.
Right.
His hair transplant. Before he went to Turkey.
Yeah.
But no, you're totally right. Like, and you reached 100 episodes. It's a bit like me for the Bagcars. It's like you reached that milestone and you went, done that now.
Yeah,
like
right.
it's,
It is a lot of work. And I think that's the thing.
It really is.
There's so much that goes into it. You guys have got a great setup. I've obviously been sitting here watching you, all the angles changing and bringing videos on. Like, that's all work, and so that's really tough. But I love the idea that you guys are building here, and appreciate you having me. It's been a blast.
We're having fun. Every show
Scotty
gets
does all that.
just slightly better. The first couple were interesting, but yeah, we're getting there. And what's your podcast called if people want to dig back and go through the 100 episodes one night?
It was called the Wormholes Podcast, and the actual what I talked about with the charity. The night I meet the two guys that started the charity, I'd never met them before they came on the podcast. You can go back and find that. It'll be like some episode 40 or something with the Next Step Australia, and it was an incredible chat. We had them on twice. Just talked about mental health for 2 hours, and if you're from Adelaide and you're keen to hear more about the organisation, go back and dig those couple of episodes up.
Yeah. All right, we will do. Thank you, Justin. Will you come back again now? That's what we always ask.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. Would love to.
We've got that on video, so you're legally obligated. Thank you.
I've got too many big hour stories left in the... Yeah, I've got too many big hour stories in the chamber to not have at least 7 episodes worth.
All right.
Easily. We'll get easily. Yeah, like the first time we met. We'll wait for the next time.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
A little cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks, Justin. Catch you soon.
Thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Well, should we... Sorry, frog in the throat. Frog in the throat. Frog in the throat. Shall we play the second part of this little documentary that Tom Bettany did for us? Tom Bettany, local Adelaide comedian, does some work in the background for the Beards, was in Average, manages Sad Tim. He did a little documentary a couple of years ago. Xavier Minicon, great South Australian, does the voiceover. So we played the first part a week or two ago. And here's the second part. This is about the pie cart in South Australia, the history of the pie cart. And this is the second part. So let's have a look at this.
The North Terrace pie cart used to stand outside Sky City Casino, offering a tasty alternative to gambling. In 2005, Sky City bought it from the Balfours Company. 2 years later, the casino closed it down. It was just like David and Goliath, except Goliath won. Goliath refused to be interviewed, but released a statement claiming
the construction of the state government's tramline extension project meant that the pie cart was no longer able to operate on North Terrace. Unfortunately, Sky City's application to continue to operate the pie cart from a permanent fixture on North Terrace pavement was rejected by Adelaide City Council.
Adelaide City Council quoted the Lord Mayor to have said,
"Council has never refused a pie cart on North Terrace. The pie cart that was there was licensed and supported by Council. When it was purchased by Sky City, they proposed a permanent pie kiosk on the footpath rather than a pie cart on wheels. Council did not support the construction of a building on the footpath."
Sky City blamed the Council, and the Council blamed Sky City. So clearly, somebody is telling a fib.
As I understand it, there was a conflict between the Adelaide City Council and the casino regarding the exact location of the pie cart. I think the council were happy to keep it there because of its heritage value, etc. The casino wanted it moved because I think they felt that it interfered, detracted from the front of their new entrance to the building and maybe affected people coming through that way to the casino.
They were losing too much money inside because people coming outside, getting something to eat, not returning back into more gambling or more drinking, so they actually closed it down.
But I think the real killer was when the tramline extensions went through and they've taken up so much of North Terrace with tramlines that there was no curbside space for the pie cart.
The Adelaide City Council have always supported a pie cart. Unfortunately, they're not showing enough support for it with the relocation.
I'm sure as Adelaide City Council, I'm keen to see more pie floaters or pie cart operating in the city, maybe in different parts of the city.
The last pie cart stands here in Victoria Square, in the dead centre of town. Unfortunately, the dead centre of town can be pretty dead indeed. Most of the city's nightlife takes place in the northern end of town, and a lack of business is one of the many problems facing the pie cart today.
I'm not operating it anymore, mainly for money reasons. It wasn't turning over enough dollars to justify a lot of hours that I was putting in.
The problem with the pie cart these days compared to many years ago, where we had 9 in Adelaide, is to do with fast food restaurants being a lot more open, restaurants in general being open more.
and we've got all the other opposition 24-hour service stores and all that sort of thing now available. I think that has been the death of the pie carts in reality.
Unfortunately, I don't see much of a future at all for pie carts within Adelaide due to basically space available on the curbside areas.
This one's still here, still happening.
The Victoria Square pie cart, I feel that probably their days are also numbered because they don't have the pedestrian traffic in that area like they used to.
It's hard to say what the pie cart's future looks like. It's an icon, and we like our icons to continue, but it's probably easier to go to one of the 24/7 fast food outlets on West Terrace, and so that would be counting against them. But I hope it continues, but you'd have to say it was an endangered species.
Yeah, interesting stuff, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've got memories of my dad and I, when I was old enough, he took me to the pie cart and we had a pie floater at the pie cart and they had those glass bowls and I've created a few pie floaters at home and you can't forget the old vinegar as well as the tomato sauce. So
and the pea soup,
Oh, so good. But good memories and it's sad that it's gone and I can't believe we haven't reopened another one.
I remember when Billy Connolly used to come to South Australia, he'd always have a pie floater, and Joe Cocker, who's now passed away, great singer, he'd always have a pie floater when he came to Adelaide. But
great hangover. Like you'd eat it before you went to the cab, and like I'll tell you what, very few times you'd have a hangover because you were full tum. It was great. You might have pooed your pants with the pea soup, but in the morning. But look, it's
was going to happen anyway. Bound to happen. But since that was made a couple of years ago. We'll have Tom on to talk about it soon because it's a great little documentary.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But since then, food trucks have kind of taken off in South Australia. So I don't know why nobody has recreated the pie cart as a food truck on the back of a van that drives around. Surely there's a bit of a window there for a pie cart to turn up
totally.
At, school events and community events. That's a good idea, I would have thought.
Let's create a Adelaide pie floater tonight van.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I've got a van.
All right.
I've got a van.
Have you got money? We just need the money.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a barbecue that's portable.
Okay. Do you need a barbecue to make a pie floater? I'm not sure. We'll look into this.
Warm up the pea soup.
Okay, we'll do it on a barbie.
We'll get an air fryer to warm up the pies. Sorted, mate.
All right, we're doing this.
Bottle of sauce and bottle of vinegar, all good to go. Look, we might only be able to sell one pie at a time, but hey, look, we're in business.
We're in business. All right, let's do that. There it is.
There it is. Show and Tell with Big Al. It's an Adelaide edition of Show and Tell. I'm just going to be putting stuff up besides my arthritis fingers. A couple of things that I found, and they're very South Australian. This one here, it's called Swap With Your Friends. They look great when you're sewing on any of your gear. It's made in Australia. Souvenir Supplies. I don't know if this place is still here. 18 Selby Street. Sounds like a Selby Street idea. Adelaide, South Australia. And it is a Marineland. There we go.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Marineland.
Yeah, Marineland was at West Beach.
Yes, that's right.
Down by where the Big Wedgie is now. I don't know. Have you been on the Big Wedgie?
No, I get enough of those myself, mate. I don't need to go on one.
I almost broke my back on the Big Wedgie. I fell over at the end, and I was really embarrassed my kids. Hey,
Is that where it is now? The West Beach. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I hurt myself at the top and the bottom because at the top,
Oh,
it drops
no.
right down, and I panicked and I grabbed the handle and almost ripped my arm off because it's like a dead drop. So I did that at the top, almost broke my arm, and then I got to the bottom and I slipped on my back and almost broke my back. So that was my one and only ride on the Big Wedgie. So
Yep.
Marineland is
Used to be there.
where the Big Wedgie used to be.
Right.
And
Okay, there we
did
go.
you used to go there
Well,
a lot?
I went there a couple of times, and I remember getting a slap across the head from my dad because I think it was cheaper if you were 4, and I was like, and he goes, "You're 4, and I went, "I'm 5." He's 4. Don't be an idiot. And then we went in and saw Mr.
Yeah.
Percival.
Mr. Percival, yeah. And I
He was
remember
there
there was
for
a
a bit.
robot that drove around, and then there was a guy walking about a meter behind him going, "Hello, I am the robot."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
What's that guy doing?
He's also the robot for Hungry Jacks. Gotta take your order. Like it's
yeah. It was ahead of the times.
I've got this. We were talking about Justin Sorre and him having a West End, but 160 years of West End. I've got this absolute beauty of a bottle, and the actual numbered. It's this one here is 576 of 1,000.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, look at that. It's written in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but yeah, no, that's in the prize position, and that was from 2020. They were
Wow.
so 10th of October 2019. The West End Brewery was 160 years old, and so I've got one of 576 of 1,000. So only 1,000 of these made. And thanks to
Saving that for a special occasion, mate, with a high floater, maybe.
yeah, just like that at my funeral, Scotty.
Yeah. All right.
Now, of course, you can't have an iconic South Australian without mentioning this guy. And I went and I met him at the Walker's Arms, and then Mark Wright and I ended up. He won a competition, and we ended up doing a gig. And then he not only gave me a Crows signed football, which I should have got down, but I got him to sign this footy card. So it's the one and only Godra. It is Godra right there, and I got him to sign that. And also this one here, it's like a little cartoon version of Godra as well. So
fantastic! Look at that.
It's a pretty cool card. Like and the fact that he signed both. I've got both. I probably should individualize them, but they're all in the one card. So
and that's quite rare, is it?
Oh well, I think so. I think this. I don't know. Reach out if you got one of those cartoon ones, but I don't remember seeing a huge amount of the cartoon ones, especially when he's exposing almost his crow himself. Look, you almost can see his beak.
But goodness, we'll have a video blocked.
Yeah, and of course, I've got these wonderful downtown tokens. So,
the old downtown tokens,
old
fantastic
downtown tokens. So,
yeah,
it's hard to see, but
let's focus on that. Let's have a look.
Can we do a focus camera?
Nice.
Come on, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
No.
and they also worked at Magic Mountain.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
So I've got the downtown, and of course I got a Magic Mountain, which is the Formula One Grand Prix.
Right.
Magic Mountain one.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at that.
Probably should be able to. And then, of course,
do you know? I remember my mum used to work at Radio Rentals, and Radio Rentals
downstairs in Rundle Mall.
Yeah. And she worked in IT there, but she was often at the city store. And every year they'd have a big Christmas party with all the kids and everything at Magic Mountain, and it was unlimited bags of those.
Oh my
so we
God.
could just go up and get as many as we wanted. Just go and get like handfuls of
that's fantastic.
those coins, and go on the sky cycles, and drop food on people's heads, and water slides, dodge them cars. They were
awesome.
Amazing. They don't do Christmas parties like that anymore.
No, they don't. I remember my dad used to work for IPEC, and same thing. We had I remember one year it was so awesome. We went to the underground Pizza Hut in Highley Street.
Yes,
and
Highley Street. Yeah.
Oh, so good. And then we went down to downtown. And my favorite was, the Western guy, and you had to try and shoot the gun to.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the gun gun range. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And they had one of those at Magic Mountain as well. When
Yeah,
you
they
shot
did.
shot the piano player, and he started.
Oh,
Ding,
right,
ding, ding,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
This one's for Corey. It's hard to see. It is a Dazzleland token, and I reckon they've obviously taken something out because it is a lot thinner than your
Look at that.
actual. They didn't obviously want people using Magic
the
Mountain
Magic Mountain.
tokens, so
Yeah.
it's actually a lot thinner than an actual Magic Mountain token. So
Yeah.
there we go. We've
Smart,
got
using a little
one-road.
bit less. What were they made from? Metal.
Yeah, I think so.
that's
Well, yeah, it'd be price of metal now. It's probably actually worth a fair bit. But yeah, that was your one ride or one token for the Maya Centre. It's actually got Maya Centre right there. So yeah, that's my South Australian. Yeah.
Oh, I like it, mate. That
Show
was
and
a good
tell.
segment. Bit of history.
Yeah,
I
a
love
little
it. So it's been a good show. We'll wind up. Let's just remind our listeners and viewers that you can catch us as well as this. This is on YouTube, and we broadcast live once a week on Monday night, 9:30. You can also find our podcast, Adelaide Tonight Short Show, which at the moment is coming out daily. We do
Quite a few
snippets. So if you want to, quick pick me up in the morning,
it's the podcast theme tune.
5 to 10 minute episodes generally. Then subscribe. If you would like to help us out and donate, because this does cost us a little bit of money to put this show together, then please go to buymeacoffee.com/Adelaide Tonight, and you can chuck a couple of bucks our way, buy us a coffee each. That would be much appreciated.
Lovely.
If you would like to email us and send us anything interesting, anything at all, just write to us.
Anything.
Adelaide Tonight,
please,
at gmail.com.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
We've got a prize wheel coming too.
No way.
Yep, we've got a prize wheel. So if you want to be part of our prize wheel, then hit us up, Adelaide Tonight at gmail.com, or Scotty's mobile number, which is 04. No, I'm kidding.
No, thank you. I get enough weird calls. I've been in 3 data breaches, I think. So my phone is just constantly ringing at all hours. I think it's even rang while we were doing this podcast once. So who's that ringing at 10 o'clock at night on a Monday?
Are you interested in cheap internet and solar? As well as letting you know that your browsers have been breached. Like it's the one guy. It's the one guy.
It's the one guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, look, I'm just going to call once and I'll just get all my scams out at once. And hopefully it's like pick a prize. Like, you can choose which scam you're interested in. It's
So thank you for watching, and we will be back. I think we're going to take a little break next week for Easter.
Yeah, it's because of Easter. So happy Easter to everyone. I hope you guys have a fantastic. Yeah, Easter is great. It's one of my favourite holidays. The only time I can load the trolley up full of chocolate and go, it's for the kids.
It's for the kids. Yes. Yeah. The trick is go to the shop the day after Easter.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Always get your bargains. You pay half price for your Easter eggs then. Kids might be a bit disappointed, but
That's right. That's what Finnegan's for. Let them sleep through.
That's right.
Easter Sunday and school holidays. They don't know what day it is anyway. So you can actually have Easter Monday on the Tuesday and just pretend it's a short week.
Yes. Yeah,
you can tell I don't have kids, Scotty, can't you?
It's excellent advice. All right. Well, thank you, mate. It's been fun. And we'll do a best of show or something. There'll be something next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.